This is Lenovo's best budget gaming laptop, the IdeaPad Gaming 3, but it's not perfect. There are some issues that you need to know about. It's around $750 US, but prices are changing due to stock issues with Ryzen. You can check updated prices in the description. The biggest downside is probably the screen. It's a 15.6-inch 1080p 120Hz panel, and unlike the Acer Nitro 5, it does at least have FreeSync. The response time is also a little better too, but the color gamut and brightness are on the lower side. Good screens just cost money, so that's generally going to be a trade-off with gaming laptops at this price point. But I think this is a reasonable compromise, and I had no issues playing on it. The 6-core AMD Ryzen processor and NVIDIA GTX 1650 Ti graphics run games well enough. But that said, I didn't really find the higher Ti to do that much better than the 1650 in the Nitro 5 I covered last week. Generally, it was only a few FPS better. In AAA games, you'll need to run at medium settings if you want that 60 FPS sweet spot. Of course, higher settings in esports titles are no problem. As the hardware inside isn't super powerful or anything, it's pretty easy for the temperatures to stay in check. This thing just doesn't really heat up. Unfortunately, there's no custom fan control, but these 3 different performance modes will affect it. Processor performance is very impressive at this price point. It's able to outperform far more expensive Intel i7 options. This level of CPU performance was simply unheard of about a year ago, unless you're willing to spend about $1,000. Inside, we've got the battery down the front, 2.5-inch drive bay above on the left, 2 M.2 storage slots. The SSD that's installed is smaller, but it does support the larger size, but the second slot only supports the smaller option. Wi-Fi 5 card near those, and 2 memory slots on the right. This machine is basically an upgrade over their L340 from last generation, and that older model only had 1 slot for memory, so it ran in the slower single channel. This one has 2, so it does dual channel without any problems, and that's definitely a welcome upgrade. Battery life was quite good for the size of the battery. It lasted for more than 6 hours in my YouTube playback test. So far from my testing, Ryzen gaming laptops seem to do pretty good in terms of battery life. The build quality is fairly average. It's all plastic, and there is some flex if you go looking for it, but it's a bit sturdier when compared to the cheaper Nitro 5. The blue backlit keyboard and plastic precision touchpad worked fine, no problems there. And I thought the speakers were pretty average. They're better than the Nitro 5s, but I'd still stick to headphones. I/O is pretty reasonable. The left has power input, gigabit Ethernet, HDMI, USB Type-A and C ports, and 3.5mm audio combo jack. The right just has another Type-A port, so fewer cables getting in the way if you're a right-handed mouse user. There's no Thunderbolt, and you cannot charge it over Type-C. Oh, and you can turn it on by opening the lid. A cool feature, as if you do that, chances are you probably actually want to use the machine. But you can turn this off in software. The 720p camera and microphone up the top are about average and similar to much more expensive laptops. But there is a physically sliding privacy shutter. When we factor everything in, I think Lenovo's IdeaPad Gaming 3 is a good budget-friendly gaming laptop. The price should be around $750 to maybe $800 US, but things are in flux due to Ryzen shortages, so refer to the links in the description for pricing updates. This puts it about $70 US more expensive than the Acer Nitro 5, or more than 10% more money, so is it worthwhile? Well, we get better build quality, a faster screen with FreeSync, but worse battery life. Otherwise, for the most part, a lot of the features are pretty comparable, so at the end of the day, it really depends on what features you need and how much you're willing to spend. But let me know if I should do a full comparison between the Nitro 5 and the IdeaPad Gaming 3. It can run modern games fine as long as you're okay with 60 FPS at medium settings 1080p. Temperatures don't get too hot even under worst case stress test, and CPU performance is simply excellent compared to what we got last year. Before you decide though, I'll show you how well this machine performs in 22 different games at all setting levels. I've also compared it against other laptops so you can see how it stacks up. So I'll see you over in that video. Otherwise, if you're new to the channel, then don't forget to subscribe for future laptop reviews like this one. Go on, I'll wait.